Hello, my friends. How are you doing today? It's great to see you for yet another video. And you know what really grinds my gears, my friends? A lazy, entitled, spoiled brat president running to the internet to tell Americans that they are taking too much time off and they are not being productive enough in society. If you're not following along, that actually happened. Yesterday, Donald Trump got his diaper up in a bunch again and started saying all kinds of absolute nonsense over on his webpage called Truth Social, where he lies his ass off all the time. Can you believe it? So I got to talk about that because he got really fired up yesterday. I got to be honest with you, as a person that works for a living every day of my life, well, almost every day, unless I get in trouble with the safety guy and I sit at home for a week. Y'all remember when I did that? It was just last week. But aside from that, when I'm not doing that, a guy that works every day of his life listening to this spoiled brat talk about Americans and how they're not working enough bothers me quite a bit. So we got to talk about that today. Geez, let me collect my thoughts for just a minute. See, I've been up all night. My very first loadout with this company, we had a problem with the paperwork, and it caused me to have to work all night. That's why it's still kind of dark out. And that's good news because I look better in the dark. Get it? Because you can't really see me. Yeah, I'm hilarious. Anyways, I say all that because a lot of us, we work our asses off. That is exactly what we do in America. And I know around the world, America sort of has a reputation for being a bunch of dumb, lazy bastards. And well, Donald Trump's in office, so there must be some dumb motherfuckers around here somewhere that would vote for that. And the lazy part, I think, comes more from people don't strive a whole lot to, shoot for the stars necessarily in America. It's just kind of the way we are, just the status quo. It's just good enough. And I'm not saying that to bust all of our balls or anything or be mean to Americans. What I'm saying is we just don't really think a whole lot about trying to do better and go after our goals and dreams and all that. You know why? Because we're constantly working our asses off just to survive. College? Who has time for that? Are you shitting me? Do I look like I had rich parents and I could have sat around getting a college education? Wasn't really a thing that was possible. But when you really think about it, though, Americans are not necessarily lazy people. Our entire life is spent working just to live paycheck to paycheck. You hear about these countries around the world where people are getting like 6 weeks of paid vacation per year and like family leave paternity leave. When a family has a baby, the dad gets paid to stay home and spend time with the kid also. And, all these other benefits that America doesn't really have. We get like 1 week of paid vacation if you're fucking lucky. And then you get like guilt tripped on that shit too. If you try to take that off, your manager talks about how they really need you there. And are you really a team player and all this bullshit. And a lot of that was kind of the setup for another thing that Donald Trump has yet again done that really pissed me off yesterday, all right? We got to think about what was going on. I think it was yesterday. I just told you I was up all night. I'm kind of losing track of days, but don't you worry, my friends. I'm going to sleep real good today. I'm going to close this little curtain here. It turns this room right here just pitch black, and I'm going to sleep real good. But I think it was yesterday. Anyways, recently, it was Juneteenth here in America. And I got to be honest, I am ignorant to a lot of things out there in the world. I just learned what Juneteenth was because I saw a lot of people up in arms like, what the fuck is Donald Trump even talking about? And then when I went to read about what it was, that's when it occurred to me that Donald Trump always finds a way to be even more of a dick than he was yesterday. So for those of you that don't know, Juneteenth is a celebration that marks the end of slavery in America, which is a net positive. I don't know. In America, this is going to be a fucking wild thing to say. It's risky, what I'm about to say, as a matter of fact. There will be a MAGA dork in the comments pissed off about this part of the video, but I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it with my chest, my friends. You ready for this? I don't think people should have other people as slaves. That's fucking insane. So it's crazy that in America now there are people that think that's a crazy fucking thing to say. I got a little sidetracked there. The reason I did is because now I can stand up again for my videos. The way the last truck was configured, I had to sit down. And somebody noted in the comments, they said, "You're jumping around the truck. You're acting like a crazy person. This doesn't seem like you. Yeah, this is kind of normal before I got the last truck where I had to sit down. Now I get to jump around the truck again. Isn't that fun? That's fucking fun. I love it. You kind of work out that energy so I can sleep some more. Anyways, back to the point. Juneteenth marks the end of slavery in America. It is a national holiday as far as I can tell. I just read it real quick. And you know what? It's a worthwhile holiday, right? Yes, absolutely. There's no reason for us to have slavery in America. That may be part of where the lazy-ass American reputation came from. The country was built off of slavery. And then after that, that really pissed off a bunch of, I almost said Southerners, but I don't mean to put everybody in the same basket of deplorables, so to speak. We understand that there was a whole civil war where the South was really pissed because they couldn't keep their slaves. There was a whole lot to go along with that. But I didn't want to say, well, the Southerners really like slaves, because I don't mean that necessarily. It's just a thing that was the thing back then. So the point I'm trying to make with this is Donald Trump ran to Truth Social to post a truth, my friends. You know it's the truth because they keep saying it is, right? When they say it over and over, it makes it true. The point is, he ran to Truth Social and he puts up this post about how America has too many paid holidays off, and it's really bad for productivity, and it's really bad for all these businesses are closed, and eventually every day is going to be a paid holiday in America. And we just can't have that. Now, there's a few reasons this bothers me, and we'll go through order of severity, starting at the least severe to the most severe reasons that it bothers me, if I can remember to do it in that fucking order. The one reason it bothers me is because this lazy son of a bitch doesn't do anything. You know how much goddamn money he's costing us with all of his golf trips that he continues to go on? How much money he costed us, the American citizens, when he went to a Super Bowl and left at halftime? How much money he cost to go to, I think it was the Indy 500, how much he's costing us in general. He's literally, I meant to look this up, I mentioned it in a video before, apparently he's bankrupting an entire county, I think over in New Jersey, because all the security detail and everything that has to happen in that city when he goes to, I think it's one of his golf courses, and he's refusing to pay. Can you believe it? Donald Trump is refusing to pay. So the laziest son of a bitch in our country, the laziest, most spoiled, entitled brat that lives in this fucking country, has decided that Americans get too many paid days off, right? Just too fucking many. You can't have that. And that obviously pissed me off, because I don't remember the last time I had a paid day off. It's been fucking well over 10 years since I've had one of those. And Donald Trump is saying that we're getting too much. We're getting too much of that. And then when he went on with the productivity part and the businesses closing, and look, I feel for small business. You know, small business is a very tough thing. I've tried it on a few occasions and failed, and maybe one day I'll try it again, because it's a very, very fucking difficult thing to do, right? But Donald Trump's not looking out for the small businesses. We know that because he's fucking them over with all of his tariffs and doing absolutely nothing about it when they go, Donald, our business is going under. What Donald Trump means is the billionaires that are taking advantage of you are not making enough money because you're getting too many fucking days off. If Donald Trump, why don't people get it, is the point I'm trying to make. Why doesn't working class America get that Donald Trump is 100% against them? I don't understand how we keep even having this conversation. Donald Trump hates you. He thinks you're gross. He thinks you're disgusting. Remember that time he jumped up in a semi-truck and played with the fucking air horn? Fuck you, Donald Trump. How dare you? Cosplay is my profession. This thing right here, this little box that I've given so much of my life to, and that little fat son of a bitch gets up there and he's so proud of himself playing with the air horn, he wouldn't last a week. Wouldn't last a fucking week doing this job. And I 100% know that to be true. Honestly, a lot of people wouldn't. It's a fucking mind fuck is what it is. You lock yourself in here away from everybody. That's fun. That's exciting. I didn't mean to get depressing there. So those are obviously things that bother me. You know, worried about the billionaires telling us that we're not working hard enough. But did anyone else notice this? Let's go to the elephant in the room now, shall we? The big deal that's going on here. Of course it was during a black holiday. Of course it was. That's when Donald Trump decided that people were getting too much time off. They weren't working hard enough. And I've said it over and over on this channel. I'm not afraid to say it again. Donald Trump's a fucking racist. He always has been. And then MAGA will come to me and go, name one time he was a racist. And I say Central Park 5. And they go, name one time he was a racist. And it's like, you can give them a list after list after list. They don't think it's racist, though, because it's not them, apparently. It's fucking bizarre. I don't really fucking know. But right there, at a black holiday, Donald Trump says, y'all aren't working fucking hard enough. We need to do something about that. Have you noticed we have holidays every year? We have, like, Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving. Donald Trump, you want to prove me wrong? You want to prove me wrong about what I just said about you? When Thanksgiving comes back around, I want you to talk about how people are taking too much time off then, because that is a fucking white holiday right there. That shit's white as fuck is what that is. And I'm not saying it's good, all right? I'm saying that that's what it is. It's white as shit. You know, you don't see them around St. Patty's Day talking about, I don't think that's paid holiday anyways, but people do go out and get drunk and probably fuck off the next day and don't go to work, right? Because they got a hangover and shit like that. But you don't hear them talking about that. You don't hear him mention anything around all the other holidays, right? Not a fucking word. But Juneteenth, the celebration of the end of slavery in America. And Donald Trump just ain't fucking having it. He said, I see all you taking the day off work, out there having a good time, slowing down productivity in America. I don't fucking like it. And the point of all of this is like, this isn't the worst thing that Donald Trump is doing by far. He's doing a lot of shit. Lucky for us, he says he's gonna think about fucking up Iran in about 2 weeks. Well, that's good, because 10 years ago, 8 years ago, however long ago it was, he was going to come up with a better plan than Obamacare in 2 weeks. And, well, we're still fucking waiting. So for anybody that doesn't know, 2 weeks means I'm not going to do a goddamn thing about it when you're speaking Donald Trump's language. But what was I saying with that? I'm very tired, my friends. I'm so tired. I'm going to go to sleep soon. But, boy, I feel like I had a fucking point there. Oh, this isn't the worst thing that Donald Trump is doing, is what I was saying. He's doing a lot of fucked up shit right now. But this was 100%. Not even deniable, 100% an attack once again by Donald Trump on black Americans. That is a thing that he does over and over. And look, here's the thing I forgot earlier. I listed Central Park 5. How about DEI? On and on about DEI hires, and then every black woman out there apparently needs to lose their fucking job. That's what it is. That's what the fuck it is. So anyways, I have wore myself out, my friends. I am absolutely exhausted now, which is great. That's good. That's good news. And I hope I made sense. Hope I made some good points. But for now, I'm going to shut the fuck up. And I'm going to go to sleep. Love you guys. Bye now.